All right. So, I know it's been a minute. If you can tell, we have upgraded the setup. So way better cameras, way better microphones, because I'm doing something really exciting, which is I'm refilming all of the training. So all of Unemployable is getting refilmed. So it's going to be very exciting. Obviously, when I started this program out, I never in a million trillion years, I never thought we would enroll the number of students we did at the rate we did. And so, nevertheless, back then, fun fact, I did a lot of the early coaching in this program one-on-one, quite literally. And so what's really nice is now that I've been doing this as long as I have, I've been doing SEO for going on a decade now. I've been doing unemployable coaching for a little over 3 years. And just my understanding of how to reteach stuff, how to, compress what is in the training right now is 6 videos, how to make it into 1 video, and just really, obviously have the audio be a lot better, the fidelity be a lot better. I just have, a lot more experience. So I'm very excited about it. I don't want to give too much away. There's certain people in the group like Brendan or whatever who've been in my house and who know kind of the undertaking I'm doing, refilming all the training. And here's the most exciting part. It is a free update to everyone. So I'm not going to charge people money for it. So look forward to that. That's coming out later this year, and it's going to be very, very exciting. But let's do this. I want to make sure that we can get people's Q&A in. Obviously, all the content I'm working on is eating up so much of my bandwidth. So I apologize for those who've been texting me or wanting to get one-on-one time with me, or maybe I have to help you with something, or Brooke's been trying to get a hold of me. Nothing is more exhausting than all the content I'm up to. So yeah, just be patient, but let's do a Q&A. So if you guys have questions, really simply, anything related to lead gen, SEO, Google Maps, whatever you guys got, sales, landing clients, all you can do is down in the chat below. You can either just type out your question, or you can raise your hand. I think down on the bottom bar, it's the react button on the Zoom, and then raise hand. And I'm more than happy to, go do Q&A. I highly recommend, for those of you who are brand new, to make sure that you understand that this business, it is a numbers game. The people in this business who make the most money have the most websites, have the most, have the most tracking numbers, have the most maps, right? They're not going to sit there and just build one site to perfection. Because in this business, if you build one site incredibly well, what does that mean? That means that you can get up to 1 client, and that's it. But if you have, for me, I have well over 100 websites. Kyle Goldstein, who's very successful at this, same thing. He has hundreds. All of us who make the crazy money, we're all in the hundreds of sites, hundreds of reps, right? It'd be as ridiculous as if you went to the gym and you did 1 push-up, and then you went, why don't I have abs? So in this business, what people do is they kind of, and look, I get it, right? We all have, even I suffered from this in the beginning, where you want to make things perfect. But the reality is, you just have to make a website better than your average blue collar or your average service-based small business owner. So guess how low the bar is? The bar is virtually at the ground. That's why we can drag and drop our way to, at least to me, to a 7-figure a year business. It's because the average business owner is so bad at computers, they're so bad at the internet, that you don't need to do a whole lot more than them to get top ranking, to get top results. So with that being said, for those of you who are brand new, just remember, your first 20 sites is the most important in the growth of this business. If you don't have 20 sites, that's a problem. Everyone needs to get to 20 websites. Obviously, depending on your financial situation, We're going to launch a really cool promo in a couple days here for Ready-Made. So if you want my team to pick the niches and cities for you and my team to build the websites for you, obviously you could pay to play and just have our team, at least get the website content images done. Or obviously go do it yourself. Like or hire your own VAs or hire your own writers, whatever you got to do. But, or just do what I did, which is I just did it all myself in the beginning because I didn't have the resources to outsource. With that being said, Chris, what's up? How can I help?
Yeah, hey man.
Hey.
How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, appreciate the opportunity to, get some insight from your expertise. So thanks for doing this.
Of course.
I didn't really come too prepared. I started back in October. I do have some help. I got a VA. We're coming up on, I don't know. We'll be at 30 sites soon. So we're
nice.
We're trying to do it quick, but the question I just have a couple things. Like one would be just when doing mass volume, I guess I'd probably start with asking you about just any insights and any wisdom around the GMB thing. That's obviously the biggest bottleneck. I'm at the point of probably getting a burner phone maybe. I was trying to figure out how to do email verification because it was giving me that option, but it doesn't seem to be going through. And so if there's any pathway there. Any just generally speaking, like any knowledge or any anything you can help me with as far as GMB is to improve that part of the process for me would be great.
Yeah. So are you with email verification? Are you I think Namecheap has a really easy way to email forward.
That's what I'm doing.
And you're saying it's just not showing up at all, like when you try.
No. It will. Once I get through that process and it takes you to the whatever that landing page at the end, which is basically like Google. It says I'm basically instantly suspended, instantly not approved for whatever reason.
Oh, interesting. So there's kind of a couple ways to go about it. I mean, one method that's been kind of helping a lot of people out now is when you're doing your maps, are you just doing the city and niche currently, as the title?
I have some of them, but I have a lot of them that are city niche. Contractors would be the third word.
Yeah. So what kind of helps a little, one thing I've noticed nowadays is that if you slam a word in the beginning and the end, so for example, you call it Jim's Towing Foster City, Brothers, and I just put it in the chat, something like that. I tend to find you just don't deal with all the nonsense of the normal verification. So that's an easy pro tip. The other thing, though, a lot of times is I like to, once my site's done, I like to text message a bunch of business owners and just say hey, I know this is super random. I have the site. It's ranking pretty decently. And I try to go for 10% commission, or I'll try to say hey, if you're willing to help me get a map listing a certain way, I just know I can get you a lot of leads. And obviously I want to get paid a little bit per month for how much business I'm going to send you. But I know that if I do it a certain way, you're going to get a lot more leads. And I've had a lot of business owners just hop on a Zoom meeting with me, and I'll just have them legitimately go through the process and take a video verification because they're the business owner, and it all just works pretty smoothly. So I've had that happen as well. And I find that's always the easiest way to do it because then it's just the actual business doing the GMB. The irony of all of this is that real business owners are getting suspended too. So I don't know why Google has Google's literally so screwed up where you literally these store owners can't even get verified. So I just think they're in a little bit of a weird my guess is some executive at Google was if we make Google Maps really annoying, maybe these people are going to run ads, right? So I think that's just kind of what we're dealing with right now. But the good news is that if something's a pain, it means it's an opportunity. So for us, I would just keep banging the GMB drum, and then try those tips and kind of see.
So instead of Jim, could you Premier Towing Foster City Experts, right? Instead of a name, it's fine. Okay, and then how many failures? This is a quick follow-up question. After how many failures should I start from scratch? Right? I'm still trying to push the same website. So don't they know that you're still pushing the same website? Or I was told to maybe change the phone number and change the email address.
No, you can if you want on the website, you can always just pick one of the service pages, right? Like that's always easy because think about like Google's so used to sites like Yelp.com that like link to, or these sites that have like 20 locations or whatever. So if you want to switch it up that way, where like instead of it just being fostercitytowing.com, it's fostercitytowing.com/roadside or something is the website URL. You could do that.
And that will game the system. That will like,
Yeah. So
that's a pearl right there, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, but number is fine. Keep the number. It's just unfortunately like, I feel like maybe like 2 or 3 times, and then I would just get a different Gmail account and try again. And another huge pro tip: try to do the GMV off the Google Maps app on your iPhone or iPad. Because I've found that tends to like not be as annoying when it comes to verification if you do the official Google Maps app versus the web browser.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I feel like I am getting better results from a phone with a location spoofer. But so the Maps app, I can access Google Business Profile verification through. When you say Maps app, are you talking about like?
I'm talking literally like what phone? Do you have an Android or an iPhone?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Android?
Yep.
Yeah. So like you know how like quite literally like on the phone.
Maps.
Yeah.
Just the Maps app.
Yeah. So if you go to Maps, right, and I'll try to show this. I know it's going to be a little weird with the camera. But basically what you can do is there's a thing here. It literally says at the top, add a business profile. I don't know if you can kind of see it in my feed. There you go, add a business profile. So you can just go there and click the business profile thing, and it'll make you log into your Google account, and like it'll literally go through the steps right inside.
Oh, add your business. Yeah, I see add your business.
Yep. So it's very, very, very easy to like go through it that way, and I found that a lot of times that avoids like all the annoying verification steps.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Sweet.
Well, yeah, I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. And then if anyone else has questions, I know some new people have hopped on in. Really simple. You just can ask it in the chat below, or you can hit the react button, hit raise hand. Another thing too is one of the things that I really really like about what Brendan's been working on and Brendan's been doing is kind of he's running ads towards him as an agency, as a person who can generate leads. And you know, the more I think about it, the more I go, it is kind of funny for us that we literally go to small business owners and we offer our ability to rank a website or get them leads, and none of us, we don't really like market our agency ourselves, right? So I do recommend, either, little things like, do people on your Facebook profile even know that you do SEO, right? Or you can generate leads for a small business. Like people here have friends and family who are business owners, and a lot of time, you can just tell them like, explain to them how long it takes to rank. But a lot of these people in your warm network, they're willing to front you money. There's also people have found clients, like there's a lot of businesses on Craigslist that will post wanting SEO people. Now, I don't recommend necessarily doing SEO as like what we call flat fee SEO, because a lot of companies, they might hire you just as an employee, which I guess if you're down bad or need the money, it is an easy way to go, because there's a lot of companies that will hire you to do SEO on their website, but obviously you got to be a little bit more savvy at logging into whatever WordPress site they have and editing it. But I do find that those business owners, a lot of times those are good business owners to convince to go the lead gen route, to be like, hey, well, why don't I just build the site? You just front me some of the money up front, but then I want to make a monthly once my site generates calls. And we're going to use a tracking number. Right, because those people, there's a lot of people, like I'm literally on Craigslist right now, and I see so many businesses asking for an organic SEO expert. So there's leads, there's clients all over the place. It's just your job to find them. So for those of you who really need the upfront cash, don't underestimate going to Craigslist and reaching out to all those businesses. I see Matthew says, hey, just started last week. Should we wait for a site to age a bit if we're trying to get a GMB? I made a site and tried to get a GMB account today. Yeah, so there's no like right or wrong answer. I would argue that getting a GMB right away, just because look, there's someone like for every GMB that gets suspended, there's one that gets approved right away too. GMB is just very fickle. It's not like people try to like dive into it so much. It's not as like so there's even someone like me or someone like Alec or Kyle. And look, Alec has hundreds of GMBs. Like he gets suspended for random stuff all the time in the beginning. The good news about GMB is once you have established one, you know, you're usually smooth sailing. But yeah, there's no like waiting for the site to age. I guess one thing too is there are so many, like I know everyone, like when we talk about niches, right? Like everyone wants to, like obviously there's like the stereotypical like tree service or like roofing. I can't tell you like the amount, it's hilarious for me when I think about all the like weird niches I've gone into. I've gone into popcorn ceiling removal. I've gone into kitchen hood cleaning. I'm trying to think of other like crazy niches I've gotten into. God, septic tank draining. So there's so many different types of businesses. So just don't, like everyone wants to think about in this business like a one-track mind. Like there's only, you know, like 5 niches you can get into, and there's so many different angles. There's so many different, just so many different niches that are profitable. So I highly recommend being creative when it comes to your niche selection. Obviously, if you buy the ready-made packs, I'll pick your niche and cities for you. But yeah, it's hilarious, like how many, you know, appliance repair, carpenters, drywall contractor, gutter installation, epoxy flooring, snow removal. There's just a lot of great niches out there. So all I'll say is, you know, be creative. Spray foam insulation, right? Just don't stick into this one track mind when it comes to niches. This easy tell is this: if your city, like think about this, the average city, even a small city, they might have like 30 people who do beehive removal. So what does that mean? If 30 people are able to be employed in the city doing beehive removal, it means there's enough market share for you to rank and generate leads in that niche. So like people obsess so much about like the Google forecast or like the population size of the city, but like that's another factor that we should kind of take into account is if there's that many businesses in an area or a region, it also means that there's that much demand for that business. So people will be like, oh, I don't think there's any demand for like spray foam insulation. I'm like, well, considering there's like 50 people in the city who do spray foam insulation, it's a pretty good tell. Chris asks, in relation to niches, what about more white collar niches? Yes, I do like white collar niches a lot. So for example, I have like a personal injury attorney in Idaho that pays me $4,000 a month. I do find it's a little bit easier with white collar businesses to try to sell them first instead of it being like the traditional route. Or like go halfway, meaning like you might build a site kind of as like a prototype and then just send it over to them and be like, hey, like I can do all this extra stuff for you. So that's the only thing. But other than that, I love them and they pay a lot. I mean, like I said, like if you work with like dentists or lawyers or roofers, I mean, I think actually, I wish Alec was on here, but Alec had a $17,000 a month hair transplant client. So yeah, like some of these white collar niches, they have insane budgets and they will pay. The downside is when you're brand new, you got to know what you're doing because like they will ask the harder questions. And so I do find in the beginning it's easier to go get the smaller clients. But yeah, I definitely recommend them, and I have had white collar clients, and yeah, they pay great. The coolest part about like some of the white collar clients is that like the hair transplant, right? Basically, their logic, like the way Alex sold them for $17,000 a month, was Alec basically made the point of like, hey, if I just got you 3 extra hair transplant clients a month. I think the average hair transplant was like 15 grand. So it's like sometimes those higher ticket things, what's really nice about them, it's so easy to convince them, because if they just get an extra 2 customers a month, that's so much revenue for them. So there's just a lot of meat on the bone to like split the money or justify a retainer. So yeah, I'm all for it. Maybe what I'll do, honestly, I'm probably going to bring Alec on the next call. He just had twin girls, but I would love for him to talk about him getting those higher ticket clients. So what I find, Chris, is like the smartest thing to do, especially if you take money from a client. One thing I always do is I build a couple sites, like 2 or 3 sites. And I'm always thinking through like, okay, what are all the cities he or she services? And then what are like the main things they make their money on? So for example, like I have a cryotherapy client in Irvine, and he makes money doing this thing called like PRP. He makes money. He does a bunch of like little things. He like rents out an infrared sauna. So I ended up for him, and he was paying me $3,000 a month. And I was afraid because Irvine's a pretty big city and pretty competitive. And so I built a few websites for him, and on different words and different phrases. So like I had like Irvine or like cryotherapyirvine.com. I had like infrared sauna irvine.com. I had the city next door. I had like Santa Ana PRP. So what ended up, so then those like a few sites, a lot of them ended up, because it was like a competitive market, a lot of them ended up like number 2, number 3, number 4. But the collective of all those tracking numbers and all those sites was I was getting about like 30 leads a month, which for him was phenomenal. So if you're ever afraid of like, maybe he's in a competitive area or whatever, going on volume, like building multiple sites, is always a great play. And then especially if you can figure out words, like you rank for the main stuff, but then you can go like a layer deeper and be like, okay, well maybe, instead of just ranking for concrete contractor, maybe I rank for concrete driveway, right? Like going that one little step deeper. But I'm pretty much, especially if the money's right, like I've never found, someone, if they're paying you like $200 a month or something, I get there's not a lot of room there. But what I find is always on a budget of like, anything like $500 a month and up, there's always something you can do to save a deal. Like, okay, maybe I go run $100, $200 of ads in the interim. Maybe I go, fire up a Facebook ad, or maybe I go, heck, if I need to buy some time, if my site's just slow, maybe I need to go make a couple Craigslist posts for him. Like, there's always something you can kind of do to buy time, but I've never had an issue I've never been in a situation past the 6-month point where I'm not like I'm always trying to preemptive that, like make sure I don't end up in a situation 6 months from now where I don't rank. So yeah, that's my best advice. And then the cool part is if the main site's very like highly performative, that's all he really paid for. The extra sites you built were just a nicety. So a lot of times, like if in the future, if he's getting enough leads from just the main site, which usually happens, those extra sites you can go send somewhere else because you are servicing your client correctly. So it's always that. Frank says 3 weeks into the program, love Niche Finder Pro. If you found a niche in a specific state that appears not to be very popular, but all of Shiv's parameters are met and the number of impressions are met over 3K, how do you narrow those cities down to a workable number? Well, if you're saying that you found a bunch of niches, niche city combinations that are great and check all of the boxes I teach you in due diligence, I just pick them by random, right? Like that's a great situation to be in. If you have a lot of niche cities that meet the due diligence requirement, just close your eyes and, I don't know, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, whatever your top 10 you're going to build, or just build all of them if you have the resources, right? Like the more sites, the merrier. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Look, I'm refilming all the training. That's why you could tell from the camera quality, it's very different. So that's been a really big focus of mine, something that's been requested for a while. So I'm going to wrap this up if we don't have any more Q&A. I do want to bring on some guests, so I'm going to have Alec come on a call. And yeah, I'm going to bring on some, some special guests and do a lot more like interview style Q&As this month. What's really funny is I'm going to be in LA next week, and I'm hanging out with a bunch of like YouTubers people would probably know. They're like middle tier, like, you know, they have like 1 million subscribers or whatever, right? And a lot of them ironically have problems with like their marketing as well when it comes to like their website or their brand or online stuff. And so somehow it got, I guess, like through my relationship with someone else, it kind of word got around. And so we'll see where it goes, but they want my input on like how to SEO their stuff better on their sites. So it's pretty, I just think it's really funny that even people with a big social media presence, like they're like, oh, I want to also have SEO and organic stuff on my website or blogs, or I want to make sure my e-commerce stuff is the best way to market it. So just remember, lead gen is like such a great skill. And it really goes from like, I would say like local lead gen's like the best starter way to get to 10, 20, 30 grand a month. And of course it has the best, like, if you want to call it passiveness. But just remember, like over time, the more you understand this world, it really is like every business needs leads. Like there is no escaping it. So I will say I never in a million years thought when I got into this business that like a YouTuber that could hire anyone would want to like pay me to fly me out to consult or talk about SEO. But there's just so much in this space. So yeah, so don't think about the space as like, look, even Alec, right? I don't think he ever thought one person was going to pay him $17,000 a month, but here we are. So yeah, it's a big space, but you have to start somewhere. So yeah, let's see. I see I'm on the first page, not getting calls. Okay, so Maltika, couple things. You might be on the first page. How long has the site been ranking? Because what happens with a lot of times is you might be ranking for one word. The average site, when it's like ranking longer, ranks for like, my average website ranks for hundreds of words. So you might just be so early that you're ranking for some words, but not the whole spread of like all the long tail keywords. And then the other thing is you can, if you want to put your like phone number more prominent on like the site title tag, I'm going to take a guess you don't have a map listing. You should try to get one of those. And then like get a Yelp listing, do citations. Like there's other things you can do, but my gut tells me on the website end, you're just ranking for just one term right now. And then Tyler asks, what kind of backlinks besides regular backlinks are the best? I want to hire a VA to do guest posting, do follow backlinking. Not sure what the most powerful use of their time. Any tips? So if you're asking backlinks, outside of the group, I actually should do this on my next coaching call because this is a good topic to talk about. Ahrefs has this really great feature that basically it's called like content. Like you can look up basically other like articles and content, and you can search from like all the recent articles on certain topics. So like let's say you have a roofing site, you can log into that roofing site, and I'm trying to pull it up right now, and basically find all the recent articles, and you can reach out to those sites to ask them to edit their article. Like, hey, if I paid you $50, could you like edit this article to add a backlink to my site? So that's probably like the most powerful way to get backlinks. It's probably overkill, to be honest, for little local sites that we're doing here. But I can kind of show you. And it's called Content Explorer. And so, if you went like roofing, and then we went like publication date, published ones, and let's say last 24 hours. And you'll just see here, like, here's a site, how to hire a handyman, right? And so the irony is a lot of these sites are probably someone built it to rank their main site. Like you see this already has some backlinks in it. So it's really easy to reach out to these type of sites and just be like, hey, if I just like sent you $50 on PayPal, could you edit your site to add a backlink to me? So that's probably the most advanced way to do backlinking. Outside of guest posting, if you want a good site to do guest posting, there's one called nobs.link that I really like. I'll put it in the chat. I get paid $0 to recommend this, by the way. So, but they have some good guest posting. And Ricardo, just hit up my support. I obviously have been like MIA for a little bit. I'm gonna reopen my calendar. So I promise, like everyone who wants to talk to me, who got it with like ready-made bundles or whatever, like I will end up doing them. I've just been traveling a lot and I got sick and life happens. But cool. Best way to get ranked for multiple keywords. Your site's gonna naturally just get ranked for multiple keywords, Tyler. Yeah, it's just time. And then obviously if you want to rank for more words, service pages or adding a lot more pages to your site with good content, good images is the easiest way to do it. And then, yeah, Meltika, one month's way too short a time to judge how many words your site's ranking for. Like that's.
Hi, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. So 1 or 2 months is you have to just let it go organically to basically get more words, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the only thing that kind of sucks about SEO is you can't really judge a site until really like 3 months. You can start to pay attention, like what's going on, but it's really hard to judge it until 6 months. So that's why like the best thing to do is just build more sites. Like don't have one itis with a website because it'll drive you insane. Like just,
yeah, no, I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to do like 1 or 2 a month.
Sweet. Yeah, just time's on your side. Yeah, 1 or 2 months is nothing in this world.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. And then Frank, did you want to ask me a question?
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago you had mentioned, I think maybe on Facebook, that you were coming out with that 10 package program or deal.
Yes.
I'm anxious to get involved in that.
Yeah, well, let me do this. You already know how to hit up support, right? I'm gonna let them know that if you want, I'll send you the link, but I can get you set up on it. Like worst case, like I can get you set up on it tomorrow. We're the only reason why it's taking longer to launch that promo is because my team, rightfully so, they want to just have it be a little bit more automated, and I want to make sure they have a lot more control over it, because before a lot of it would like stop with me to do stuff, and just at the scale we're at, I need more people on it. So I can get you taken care of, but let me do this. Let me send you, actually, I'll just send you our email here. I'm gonna message it to you in the chat. And if you just send him an email today, we can get you taken care of tomorrow. Like we'll get it to you earlier than when we launch it to everyone else. But yeah, just save that email, because the second I get off the Zoom, that email will disappear.
Appreciate it, thanks.
Yep, absolutely. Cool. All right. With that being said, we'll wrap this up. Appreciate everyone. I'm so excited for. There's just so much cool things I'm working on that. I mean, yeah, it's just I just have this role. I don't want to talk about anything until it launches, but I'm very excited. So can't wait for you guys all to see it. And the best part is a lot of the stuff I'm working on is free, which is cool. Because I do appreciate, I know there's tools that involve other people, like obviously Niche Finder Pro, like we want to support Chris and Skylar, so there's a cost. But yeah, I'm really excited about the stuff I'm launching where it costs you guys nothing. And I love loyalty. I love the fact that there's people here who've been in the group, supporting me for 3 years. So I want to give them stuff for free, even though they bought the course 3 years ago. And obviously, if you joined yesterday, you also get it for free. So a lot of cool stuff coming. Excited. But until next time, see you, everyone. Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Shiv. Welcome to my channel. I talk a lot about business, entrepreneurship, mindset, but more importantly, how it revolves around what I do, which is SEO. I do it specifically for small businesses, think like mom and pops, tow truck owners, tree care, roofing, things like that. About 400 different types of small businesses in small cities. So cities that are less than 350,000 in population. If you want to learn more about the business model I do and how I've taught a lot of other people to make passive income online, ethically, normally, check the link down below somewhere. You can read more about it.